Hi, I am Miss Christine and welcome to the English Practice Club. Today we will have the IELTS writing part 2. Are you ready? Okay, that's great. Let's start. Okay, what is writing task 2? Writing task 2 is a formal discussion essay. What does it test? It tests expressing and evaluating ideas, use of an appropriate style, grammar, spelling, and punctuation, and last is paragraphing. This task requires you to present arguments in a clear and well-organized way. You have to write at least 250 words in 40 minutes, discuss the idea expressed in the task, give your opinion and support it with relevant examples, and then conclude with a brief statement of your final opinion. There are 5 types of essays on the IELTS exam. First is the opinion essay. Second is the discussion essay. Third is the solutions essay. Fourth is the advantage or disadvantage essay. And then the last is the direct questions essay. Okay, we will begin with the opinion essay structure. So these questions will ask you, to what extent do you agree? Could also be, to what extent do you disagree? Or it could ask for your opinion. So there are 2 structures for the opinion essay. First is agree or disagree. In this structure, you will basically decide whether you agree or disagree with the statement. In the introduction part, this is where you will write your thesis. Thesis is a statement or theory that is put forward as a premise to be maintained or proved. In the first paragraph after the introduction, you will state there whether you agree or disagree, and then you add your examples to prove your stand. In the second paragraph, you will state there as well if you agree or disagree, and then add your examples as well to prove your stand. And then in the last part of the essay, state your conclusion. In the conclusion, it is where you state your case, and it is where you conclude. Alright? So for the second structure of the opinion essay, it is where you need to agree and disagree. So in the introduction part, you will write your thesis. And then in the second or the first paragraph after the introduction, this is where you will state that you agree with the argument, and then you need to add your examples to prove your stand. And then for the second paragraph, this is where you state that you disagree with the argument, and then you need also to add your examples to prove your stand. And then in the last part, you need to conclude. State your case and then conclude for the conclusion. Alright, we will now proceed to the next essay, which is the discussion essay structures. These questions will ask you to discuss both sides of the argument and may ask for your opinion, which means there are 2 sides of the story or 2 sides of the statement. And then for the structure, there are 2 structures that we will be discussing today. First would be the no opinion. In the introduction part, this is where you will write your thesis, as what I discussed earlier, that thesis is a statement or a theory that is put forward as a premise to be maintained or proved. In the first paragraph for the no opinion structure, this is where you state the argument, the first side of the story or the first side of the statement, and then you add your examples. And then for the second paragraph, it is where you state that you against the argument or the second side of the story or the statement. And then you add your examples to prove your stand as well. And then you conclude. This is where you write your summary, and then this is where also you should state your case. Alright, that is for the no opinion structure. And then for the with opinion structure, it is where your opinion comes in. For the introduction, just like with the first structure, you need to state your thesis. And then for the first paragraph after the introduction, you need to state the argument or the first case, or the first side of the story or the statement. And then for the second paragraph, you need to state there the argument or against the argument or the second side of the story or the statement. And then for the third paragraph, this is where your opinion comes in. This is where you state your opinion, and then you need to add your examples to prove your opinion or to prove your stand and argument. And then for the last part, you need to conclude. You need to state your case and then summarize everything for the conclusion. Is that clear? Am I clear? Alright, great. Okay, for our next essay would be the advantage and disadvantage essay structures. So these question types will ask you to state the advantages and disadvantages of an argument. The question could also include your opinion too. Add an extra paragraph in this case, or include your opinion throughout the essay. So there are two structures that we will follow for this type of essay. First is the no opinion, and then the second would be the part or the structure with your opinion. So for the no opinion introduction part, you need to state your thesis. And then for the first paragraph, after the introduction, you need to state there the advantage and then add your examples to prove that it is in the advantage side. For the second paragraph, you need to state there the disadvantages and then add your examples as well, that why it belongs to the disadvantage part. And then for the conclusion, you need to state your case and then conclude everything. Alright, that is for the no opinion. And for the with opinion, in the introduction, you need to write your thesis, as what we always did, right? And then for the first paragraph after the introduction, you need to state there the advantage. For the second paragraph, the disadvantage. And then for the third paragraph, it is where your opinion comes in. And then you add your examples. And then for the conclusion, you need to state your case and then conclude. Alright? Is that clear? Okay, clear. Okay, we will now proceed to the next essay. The next type of essay that we will be discussing today would be the solutions essay structures. There are also two structures for the solution essay. First is the causes and solutions, and then for the second is only solutions. So in this type of essays, you will need to discuss either the solutions to a problem or the causes of the problem and the solutions, of course. For the causes and solution, in the introduction part, you need to state your thesis, as what we always do. And then for the first paragraph, after the introduction, you need to state there the causes of why the problem occur, and then you add your examples. For the second paragraph, you need to state there the solution of the problem, the solutions for that specific problems, and then you add your example of the solutions. And then for the last part, which is the conclusion, you need to state your case again and then conclude everything to wrap up your essay. And then for the second, which is the only solutions, for the introduction part, you need to state your thesis again. And then for the paragraph 1, after the introduction, this is where you write your solution. First solution that you think of to solve the specific problem. And then you add your examples to prove that it is really a solution to that specific problem. And then for the paragraph 2, this is where your solution number 2 or your second solution comes in. The second solution on how to solve a certain problem. And then you add your examples as well to prove that it is or it can solve the specific problem. And then you conclude for the conclusion. You state your case first and then you conclude. Okay, do you understand? Are you still with me? Okay, that's great. Let's now proceed to the next essay. So the next essay would be the last essay that we will be discussing today. This is the direct question essay structure. So these types of essay questions, you need to directly answer the questions given. Okay, for the introduction, this is where you write your thesis, including your opinion. And for the first paragraph, it is where you state your answer to the first question or question number 1. And then you need to add your examples to prove your answer. And then for the paragraph number 2, this is where you write your answer or state your answer for question number 2. Then you add your examples again. And then for paragraph number 3, this is where you write or state your answers for question number 3. And then you add your examples again to prove your answer. Okay, and then for the conclusion, again, in the conclusion part, we always state our case and then conclude everything to wrap up our essay. Okay? Okay, now we will now proceed to our examples. Okay, we will now proceed with the examples. So in our examples, you need to identify whether it belongs to opinion essay, discussion essay, solution essay, advantage and disadvantage essay, and of course the direct questions essay. Are you ready? Alright, that's great. Question number 1. It is neither possible nor useful for a country to provide university places for a high population of young people. To what extent do you agree or disagree? What's your answer? Alright, very good. That is opinion essay. Let's now proceed to question number 2. For question number 2, some people think that in the modern world we are more dependent on each other, while others think that people have become more independent. Discuss and give your opinion. What could it be? Alright, very good. That is again opinion essay. For example number 3, nowadays, more and more people decide to have children later in their lives. What are the reasons? Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? What could be the answer? Alright, very good. That belongs to the advantages and disadvantages essay. For our fourth example, many people believe that international tourism is a bad thing for their country. What are the reasons? What are the solutions to change these negative attitudes? Alright, very good. That is solutions essay. For the last example, some people believe that crime is a result of social problems and poverty. Others think that crime is a result of a person's nature. Discuss both views and give your opinion. What is that? Alright, very good. Opinion essay discussing both views. You did a great job today. See you in the next video. Bye!